Hey everybody, so I want to talk about the Carolina Hurricanes a little bit here because they obviously had a great start to the season. They've really fallen off recently and started to come back down to earth. Now before we get into the video, I just quickly want to say that if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and follow along for all my hockey content this season and all year round. And everyone, please remember to hit that like button and give this video a thumbs up. It is greatly appreciated and helps out the channel a lot. So, the Carolina Hurricanes, they had a tremendous start to this season. They came really firing on all cylinders out of the gate. They were one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference through the month of October. And they were finding ways to win games and racking up points. And they were right up there with Washington and the Islanders as one of the top teams in the Metropolitan Division, and they were rolling. Things looked really good for Carolina for the first month of the season. But since the calendar has changed to November, things have definitely gone a little bit downhill for the Hurricanes, who now have lost 4 games in a row. They're 3-6-1 in their last 10 games, and they've dropped from near the top of the standings in the Metro all the way down to outside of a playoff spot. They're currently 1 point out of a wild card spot through 17 games with a 9-7-1 record. And that hot start all of a sudden has really cooled off and turned into, a team that's, closing in on being right around 500. So, what's kind of happened here with Carolina is this an issue that, maybe this was a team that started the season better than they actually are? Or is this just a couple weeks of a bump in the road here and they're going to turn things around? I mean, that we're going to have to remain to be seen. But, I don't want to say I'm worried yet. If I'm a Hurricanes fan, this could just be, a bad stretch here. And all it's going to take is, 2-3 wins in a row. And all of a sudden you're talking right back about Carolina being, right there in the Metro Division up there with Pittsburgh and the Islanders, probably still behind Washington, as Washington's been unbelievable to start this year. But they could get right back up there with Pittsburgh and the Islanders for sure if they win a few games in a row. But, is this a sign of a little bit more of a longer-term issue? Their goal differential now has dropped to only +3, and it was much better than that earlier in the season. But they started the month with a great 7-3 win over the Detroit Red Wings. But since then, they lost 5-3 to New Jersey. They lost 4-1 to Philadelphia. They are Carolina. They lost 4-2 to the New York Rangers, and they just lost 4-1 to the Ottawa Senators on Saturday night, and they play Ottawa again tonight, Monday, this time at home. And this is kind of a big game for them. It's still early in the season. It's not a divisional game. It's not like you can say this is like a must win or anything like that. Not even close to anything like that. So don't take this the wrong way. But this is kind of a big game for the Hurricanes. They need to get this losing streak stopped. And Ottawa is not a good team, and Ottawa just beat them 4-1 in what really wasn't a close game. So, you've got to win this game at home against a team like the Senators, who are certainly one of the lower teams in the league. And, they've got to get this losing streak stopped, because they go on a 3-game road trip after this. They go at Buffalo, at Minnesota, and at Chicago. So, they've got a chance at home here to really get an important win before going out on a short road trip. Then they come back home and play Philadelphia in Florida. So that's their schedule for the next 2 weeks. Not a particularly difficult schedule. I wouldn't call it an easy one. I don't think anything's easy in the NHL. But it's not a particularly difficult schedule. It's not like they have Washington twice and Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay or something like that. They do have winnable games here against teams like Minnesota, Chicago, Philly, even Buffalo. Florida's winnable as well. And then obviously Ottawa is a game that they should win. So they've got, their next 6 games here are all very winnable games. They have a chance to get back into the win column, to string some wins together and turn this around. But if they don't do that, then you're going to see Carolina over the next 2 weeks probably fall back into being, right around, 500 or even lower, and getting past in the standings if they don't find ways to win these games. So, obviously, it's still early in the season. There's still a long way to go, and this could just be a rough 4-game stretch for the Hurricanes, and they'll be fine long term. That's very much a possibility. But they've cooled off from where they were to start this season, and now they're facing a little bit of adversity here. And I think these next 2 weeks are kind of important for getting things back on track, because what you don't want to do is fall below 500, get back into the middle of the pack of non-playoff teams, and then you find yourself down with teams like the Rangers, the Blue Jackets, the Senators, the Devils. And if you're in that mix, it's going to be hard to come back. You're going to have a lot of teams that you have to jump over if you do want to get back into a playoff spot. So I think it's important here for the Hurricanes to kind of get back into that win column, start winning games again, and pull themselves back into playoff position in the Eastern Conference, because that Metro Division is going to be a dogfight all year long. And one bad stretch, and that could really put you in a hole that would be difficult to get out of, with the number of teams that you're going to have to pass to get back up out of that hole. So the Hurricanes are a team that I'm watching closely here over the next couple weeks. Obviously, they started out on fire. Now they've really cooled off and drifted back towards 500. Let's see, who are the Carolina Hurricanes? Are they that team from October who are one of the best teams in the East? Or are they the team that we've seen the past week and a half who have really fallen off, and are they overall probably a more 500 team? I think we're going to find out here pretty quickly just what this team has and what they are overall. And these next 2 weeks of very winnable games are going to be important for the Hurricanes. So I just want to touch on Carolina a little bit. They've really cooled off. And I think they're facing some adversity, and they need to get back into the win column and show that they really are the high-level team that they were to start this season. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.